It's fair to say Māori-Crown relations are rather tense at the moment. The biggest flashpoint, ACT leader David Seymour's Treaty Principles Bill. It's already sparked numerous protests, with opponents promising hikoi from hell when the bill is introduced next month. It's been a year that's united Māori.
I'm here today to show that we still exist, we're still here, we're not going anywhere.
I feel it is our obligation to stand up, rise up and protect our future for mokopuna a popo.
Tangata whenua protested across the motu.
We can change everything. We're the future generations of Māori and we got this.
And were backed by many tangata tiriti too.
The government is stuffing up Māori rights, and that's wrong.
And I think we are standing on the right side of the history, so we are just supporting the people of this land.
A call to action.
If we don't stand up now, then who knows what will happen.
Sparked by the coalition government's policies affecting Māori.
We're making this a more united country. We are determined to deliver for all New Zealanders.
We will unite New Zealand under our similarities rather than divide us by our differences.
But David Seymour's Treaty Principles Bill is causing much of the division on full display at Waitangi.
And you want to cut the treaty in front of all of these people? Hell no! You and your shitty-ass bill are going down the toilet.
Protesters drowning out Seymour with waiata.
Why do those people have a right to stop the rest of New Zealand debating its own future? Newsflash, you don't.
The Prime Minister's adamant the bill won't make it through.
What we've agreed as a government is that we will pursue it through first reading and into select committee, but there's no commitment beyond that point. So it's not something that we support it, we don't like it. We will not be supporting that bill.
No, look, it's will he or won't he. He's used different language at different times. They may well change their mind.
Regardless, Māori are making their voices heard.
Today, the revolution starts!
Everything that the government is doing is against Māori.
I'm so afraid of the law changes.
Māori are speaking. They're standing up and saying, this is not right.
Nō reira e ngai iwi, it is on. The latest activation from Toitū Te Tiriti is on next month. The call from Hone Harawira on the hui in March this year for Whangārei, the next generation, to pick up the protest has been answered. And joining us now, live in studio, is the man who made that call, Hone Harawira, and a man now picking up that wero from Toitū Te Tiriti, Eru Kapa-Kingi. Aku rangatira, tēnā kōrua. Hone no mai. You made that call in March. Yeah. It's now been answered. Thoughts?
You know, I'm amazed, positively astounded by the energy, the connection that the rangatahi have been able to bring to the fore through these activations all around the country, just hitting the button and people are stepping up to the kaupapa all around it. You know, back in our day, we would have had to make 1 million phone calls to do that, but yeah, they're lifting it to another level, and I'm really hugely supportive of what they're doing now.
And we are going to give the details soon, but you know what it's like to plan a hikoi across the motu. This is the plan now, starting on November 10, November 11 officially, but November 10 in Te Kao. Big kaupapa, big mahi.
Yeah, good place to start any hikoi from. Go back to Te Kao in. Have the wānanga, then head up to Te Aka Whai Ora and start coming down from there. Now, big mahi, but the thing is, I'm not worried about it. I've watched them operate up until now. I'm fully comfortable that they can handle this and more, and government needs to be on their toes if they think they're going to be able to keep getting away with the kind of damage they've been doing to Māori, stripping the treaty of our rights, you know, gutting the Waitangi Tribunal, slashing funding from education, health, Māori TV, and everything else. So, yeah, it's all on.
And emotional too, handing over?
No, I don't feel that at all. I actually feel a weight lifted off my shoulders.
And placing that on Eru's shoulders. Yes. So let's bring Eru in now. Eru, why a hikoi?
Pai tērā pātai, me ponoa hei. I was a little bit reluctant at the start around the hikoi model because I was applying, I guess, te hinengaro o te wā and thinking, oh, that's a long time on the road and, you know, it's a lot of investment in terms of resource. But I think my uncle and I kind of met in the middle and I was quite adamant, we can do this, but we need to do it in a truncated, kind of shorter version. 7 days on the road, horekau makarona, haere tika, haere hāngai, because, yeah, let's be honest, we're the run it straight generation, we're the kore makarona generation. That was some tikanga that I was quite adamant on, especially considering nei rā, sort of a 7-second attention span, te nuinga, te iwi mau ki te whonu. So trying to find that kauhanga nui, te iho nui, the balance with our kaupapa.
So let's get straight to it then, shall we? Let's now exclusively reveal the locations of the hikoi. To begin, as mentioned earlier, on the 10th, in Te Kawe Pōtahi Marae, and then making its way from Te Aka Whai Ora to Whangārei on the 11th, Whangārei landing in the North Shore on the 12th. On the 13th, from the North Shore across the Harbour Bridge, hikoi across the Harbour Bridge, we'll confirm that with Eru soon, landing in Huntly on that night, and then Huntly to Rotorua on the 14th. On the 15th, from Rotorua to Hastings, Hastings to Palmerston North on the 16th, and then landing in Porirua on the 17th with a hui, with mana whenua, tangata whenua on the 18th, and then to Parliament on Tuesday the 19th, in time for the first reading of the Treaty Principles Bill. Eru, how do you do that? It's 7 days across the North Island, and we'll get to Te Waiponamu soon, but how do you do it? Logistically tough.
A lot of preparation, a lot of thinking, a lot of logistics. The good thing is we've got a solid team with experience and good relationships and connections as well. We have good relationships with tangata whenua, puta i te motu, we have good relationships with police, and so we have the right minds in place to ensure that we do this efficiently but also safely, because we want to protect our mokopuna ourselves, kuia.
What about Te Waiponamu? I haven't seen Te Waiponamu on that itinerary.
A te wā ka puta ngā kōrero mō ngā pito ke o te motu. This plan, as it's set out, is the central kind of part of the hikoi, but there will be other parts that scaffold off the central part. Koia tēnā, yeah. And so a te wā ka puta i rā kōrero will be publishing those details soon. This is just the start. What
is Toitū Te Tiriti? What are the outcomes that you are looking for from the hikoi?
Kei roto I te ingoa, ne? Toitū Te Tiriti. So when we say Toitū Te Tiriti, we are saying Te Tiriti is forever, Te Tiriti is enduring. And kei roto hoki te rā kōrero Toitū Te Tangata. So we are also forever and we are enduring. So this hikoi, every step is a step towards our rangatiratanga, our sovereignty and liberating ourselves as a people, reminding ourselves of our role as the central kaipupuru of te mana o te tiriti o Waitangi me te hakaputanga. So that's the intention. It's affirmative, it's empowering, and it's liberating.
Landing on that Tuesday for the first reading of the Treaty Principles Bill.
If they stick to that plan, yes.
Do you think they won't?
I'm not sure, but we will haere tonu hākua te aha.
Is the plan to try and interrupt that process, or just to be there should it happen, as everyone says it's going to happen on Tuesday, November the 19th?
Pai tērā pātai. There is a reactive element to this liberation, to this activation movement, but it's not solely reactive. And if plans change on the other end, kore tai te pēhea, e pai ana, ka haere tonu me te kaupapa. But as I said before, this is more about liberating our people and looking beyond te kāwana Pākehā, looking beyond the parliament structure and thinking of a future, reimagining a future for our people where we are our own government, we are our own rangatira, and we control our own destinies.
So you're not worried about numbers per se? I mean, I remember 15,000 hone at Parliament for foreshore and seabed. Do you think you'll get more people? And these are the questions that people are going to ask, right? What's the number you're looking at?
I'm thinking north of 50,000. That might be aspirational, but I runga I ngā āhuatanga o te wā, tātou te iwi Māori, kua miliona tātou, right? We've reached 1 million as a peoples, and there are millions of others tangata tiriti e tautoko ana I te kaupapa. So, and especially given the technology that's available to us, there's no excuse Uncle and that had to ring around to get people, when people still showed up. We've got all this technology, surely we can build on those numbers.
Can I get your thoughts on that? Only 50,000, wow.
Yeah,
That would be huge.
You know, when they ran their last activation, and you could see on the screen them popping up everywhere in the whole country, it means that those who can will. And some people will plan to do nothing else but go to Wellington. And then, of course, they are maintaining connections in small towns and villages all around the country. If you can't make it, hit the road in your town. Be a presence, be part of what it is that we're doing on that day. But on the day, yeah, that'd be wonderful to see. I'm going to try and get down there. I'll do Te Aka Whai Ora, I'll do Kaitaia, and be looking after the mokopunas, making sure they're sweet, so that when Hilda and I get on down to Wellington, we're going to be part of what's going to happen.
I want to ask you both that there will be some people, political leaders may say, that there will be divisiveness as a result of this process. I want to pick up on that point. We're going to take a short break and we'll come back to that, and I'll let you think about that, and then we'll answer that question after this. Stay with us. We'll show the itinerary again, and we'll have more with Hone Harawira and Eru Kapa-Kingi on the hui in a moment. Hoki mai anō e ngai iwi. We have Hone Harawira and Eru Kapa-Kingi live in studio with us now. But let's go back to our map and exclusively reveal again the locations and dates of the hikoi, of the activation, beginning on the 10th of November at Te Kao, and then from Te Aka Whai Ora on the 11th. As you can see, there are the locations: Tunatahi Dargaville through to Whangārei, down to Te Raki Pai Whenua North Shore, Takaparawhau Bastion Point, up by Ngāti Whātua Rake, Rahui Pōkeka Huntly, Hamilton, Kirikiriroa, Rotorua through to Heretaunga, and then as you can see from Palmerston North to Porirua on the 18th, that's Monday the 18th. I don't know if I'm allowed to say we'll be there on the night, but anyway, and then on the 19th at Parliament on Tuesday the 19th of November. There will be political leaders that will say this activation is divisive, that actually you, Toitū Te Tiriti, inspired by other activations that have happened previously, will cause divisiveness to this country. Eru, your thoughts on that?
I find that interesting in that it assumes that things aren't divisive right now. And things are divisive and have been divisive since 1840. Kua roa, te kāwana Pākehā, e tuku nei te Māori kia tū wehe ki runga ki o ngā ke whenua. So I think that's based on a fallacy that everything right now is fine and dandy, but we know that that's not. We know that our babies are being taken from their homes. We know that our brothers and sisters are being locked up at a rate higher than any other people's in Aotearoa. We know that our health and education statistics are on the undesirable end in almost every single facet. So that line of questioning and line of thinking, I think, is based on a falsehood and a lie.
And I only ask Hone, and you'll be used to this because this was the charge that was made against you. You remember that time of foreshore and seabed?
I absolutely remember. And Māoridom was divided. There was half a dozen Māori from Labour on that side and the rest of Māoridom. 99.999% of Māoridom on our side.
And that's the same now. There will be Māori on the other side.
Well, the thing is, that's exactly the same now. You're not going to find too many Māori outside, and you won't even find all of the Māori and National are supporting what this government is doing. You've got just those who are MPs in National, New Zealand First and ACT, and all of the others, the Green Party, the Māori Party, the Labour Party, and all of those other parties, as Edu started speaking of, there are unions all up and down the country. There are teachers, there are kura, there are schools, Pākehā schools, all of whom believe absolutely in the righteousness of the treaty as the foundation document of this country, who will want to support this hikoi and show the Prime Minister and his government that they're well off base by thinking that what they're doing is in the best interest of the country, because it isn't.
You talked about tangata tiriti, non-Māori, who will want to support this kaupapa. What's your message to them that are watching us tonight?
I think they'll understand almost as well as us the division that's been created and probably heightened in the last, going on a year actually, because things have been rough for Māori for ages, for a long time, but also for other marginalised minorities and certain groupings, peoples in Aotearoa that don't fit in the kind of white and wealthy bracket, right? So they'll be looking for an opportunity to stand in their own mana as well to protect their own rights. And what I always say to people is that what is good for Māori is good for us. And Toitū Te Tiriti is a kaupapa that creates a world where everyone can thrive, not just Māori, because that was the world that our tupuna lived in. Mm-hmm. Koia tēnā.
If the bill passes its first reading, what happens then? Or even, I know many people have said in government that they will not support this bill up to second reading. If it does get to second reading and does get supported, what happens then? Have you played all your cards already by doing the hikoi?
The hikoi walks to Parliament and then walks past and beyond Parliament. So, ki au, horekau e tino aha. The bill in itself, the biggest, I guess, truth that reveals is the lack of education around Te Tiriti o Waitangi in Aotearoa, Putanua, Māori mai, Pākehā mai. That's that. So, but I don't put too much mana or power into the bill itself because mohi ana tawa, Jules, tō tawa mana Māori, no paper gave that to us and no paper could give that away. What He Hakaputanga and Te Tiriti do in tandem is put a pou in the ground to remind the world that we are tangata whenua here, but our mana comes from the fact that our tupuna came here from Hawaii and lived for 1,000 years undisturbed. So I'm not fearful and I'm not scared of whatever happens with that bill.
Before we conclude, and we will show the map again so people can see the locations and the dates. But Hone, message to Rangatai, you put the challenge out in March.
You know,
and it's important Rangatai become involved in this process, I guess is what you were saying.
Well, if I can just hark back to what Tuheitia, our king said, just be Māori, all day, every day. And to our rangatahi, I just say be bold, be courageous, this world is yours, this day is yours. Be ready to take it up and provide leadership, not just for themselves, but for those who are watching them, our mokopuna who are ready to follow.
Eru?
Ai, ko te wāhanga hoki ki a mātou he whai ngā tapu wai. Te hunga, Uncle Mark, ko te hunga ko wari i ngā taringa, ki te kōtore i ngā wā, ka hore uana ki te tika me te pono. So there's a relationship there that's super important and I'm honoured and I'm privileged to be able to carry this on behalf of all of us.
Tēnā koe. Mea koranga tira tēnā kōrua. Is that you doing a hospital pass or you doing a forward pass or you doing a skip pass? Let's have a look at the itineraries and dates one more time so people have the information available. Beginning again in Te Kao on the 10th and then from Te Aka Whai Ora down to Whangārei on the 11th. Whangārei to North Shore through Dargaville as well on the 12th. And then North Shore to Huntly, crossing the Harbour Bridge on the 13th. Huntly on the night of the 13th. On the 14th from Huntly to Rotorua on the 15th, Rotorua through to Te Matawa Maui, Hawke's Bay, landing in Hastings on the 15th, 16th Hastings to Palmerston North, 17th Palmerston North to Porirua overnight for a meeting on the 18th. That's the Monday where I think we'll be live on the night of the 18th, and then the 19th, again to Parliament, Tuesday, the 19th of November.